it's very important that once you're doing that action of transitioning, hey, how are you? Come say hi. Where are you from? I'm a dating coach. I'm making a video about dates and stuff, but it's okay. I just wanted you to say hi real quick. She waved at me. You're cute.
Okay, thank you.
Can I guess where you're from?
Where do you think I'm from?
India.
What?
India.
Oh my god,
I got one chance and I got it right? Come back here. Come back here.
no way.
Tell them how good I am.
That was spot on because anybody I speak to here, they have never the right guess in the first go. So he's pretty good.
I am pretty good.
He is pretty good.
You have Instagram? Yo, what's good YouTube? It's your boy Jayden. Welcome to my channel. In this video today, we're gonna talk about dates. We're gonna talk about how to structure your dates. And I'm going to share with you my way of dating, what has helped me go from when I used to have no results at all. I used to be the type of guy who used to go on date after date after date and never close, okay? Never close. I remember like my first 60 dates or something like that when I was a beginner, I didn't close. And it was frustrating. And I just felt like a piece of shit. Like, why am I not closing? I changed a couple of things, and those things are massive, massive, massive. Some of the things that I'm gonna teach you in this video today, you've heard before. You've heard before. Maybe you even understand it, but I'm gonna tell you how to implement it, and I'm also gonna teach you some new things, you know? An old fox, 32 years old, been in the dating game for a while, teaching you new tricks. And so come with me on this walk as we talk, okay? Wow, today is sunny. I love it, I love it, I love it. This is one of the big reasons why I live in this city, guys. Look at this, beautiful. And you best believe today, once I finish making this video, I'm gonna do some day game, you know? And it's, I can already see it's a bunch of chicks everywhere, you know what I'm saying? And so let's get into it. You are currently not closing. How can we get you to a point where you are closing? Well, first you need dates, okay? You need some girls to close. So what do you have to do? You have to go on the street, start conversations, go to the bars, go to the clubs, start conversations, and ask those chicks out. Okay, that's number one. Now for me, when it comes to the acquisition phase, you know, the initial phase, I'd say it's a 50-50. So for me, some of the girls that I meet, they come from nightclubs. I don't really go to nightclubs anymore unless like I'm popping a bottle with some friends or I'm traveling or something. So more like bars, you know, like we have some bars here in the city that it's like they got a DJ and it's full of people, but it's not a club, you know. So I really like to go to those nowadays, you know, because I'm getting a little bit older. I just like to go out like at a nightclub when it's like really, you know, really like we're going to party hard. So 50% of the dates I get come from those like lounge cool type bars, you know, with the DJ music, shit like that. And 50% come from day game, from me walking around, approaching women, presenting myself and asking them out. So that's what I do for my leads. I don't do any online stuff. I know I mentioned it in another video, but I do it when I travel because I think it's just fun. Like you're in the airport and you're already trying to make some leads. So I use Tinder when I travel, and that's about it, you know? But other than that, like where the city I live, I don't really use it. And so then you have your planned dates, right? So you meet a girl and you tell her what time, what place, you got the date. Cool. Now what do? Here's how I always structure it, okay? You gotta structure it for success, you know, before you even arrive. So the way that I structure it is I plan it somewhere nearby my apartment, okay? Maybe on the same street. I got a bunch of bars in my area on the same street because I live in the middle of the city center. Or I take the girls to my favorite bar that's like 4 blocks away from my house. So the logistics of the planning is already like nearby my apartment, okay? I would not recommend you to go on a date far away. Now, I know some of you guys, you live in America, you live in Canada. I got a lot of people overseas watching my videos. You gotta work with what you got, if you know what I'm saying. So if you gotta drive to a place and the girls gotta drive there, you gotta improvise, you gotta get creative. I'm just telling you what I do, and you can tweak it. Just like if I were to move to America, if I were to move to Miami or LA, I would tweak it for where I live, right? So you gotta take my advice and you gotta tweak it to you and where you live. So plan the date nearby. If you can't, you can't, okay? But like, don't do dates that's like on the chick's term. Like, oh, she's like, we gotta meet in my area, or like, no. Like if it's not on your terms, if you're not the one leading, you shouldn't go. That's it. That's just my opinion, okay? Because you want to have a lead that's happy, you know, the kind of chick that's happy that you're like leading and taking care of the place and the you know, where you're going. So you go there. Now, a big mistake when I was on dates, when I was younger, I kept them super long, okay? I would go on dates and it would be like 9 hours, walking the beach, hanging out in the park, jumping from bar to bar, whatever. And, you know, inherently, there was nothing wrong with that when I was a beginner, okay? When I was a beginner, there's nothing wrong with that. Like, I wasn't going on dates, and all of a sudden I was, and they were long, okay? So if you look at it objectively, there was nothing wrong with that. However, what pissed me off back in the day, when I used to have these like 8-hour, 9-hour, 5-hour, 4.5-hour dates, we're just doing so many activities, so much stuff. What pissed me off was that many of those chicks, not all of them, but many of those chicks wind up never replying. Like never replying. So then I would think about the time I spent, and I would think about the money, you know, going from bar to bar, place to place, going to eat, doing this, doing that. It just was frustrating, you know, because I didn't go on the date just to hang out. Like, they went to close, you know what I'm saying? So just hanging out like 10 hours doing nothing is fucking boring, you know what I'm saying? And so I said, hey, this is inefficient, you know, especially if this is something I'm gonna do for the rest of my life, for a very long time, in my 20s, in my 30s. I can't do this. So time is of the essence. Time is important. And so I keep my dates maximum 1.5 hours. It's not a golden rule, you know, I'm not like counting, but everybody knows how much an hour and a half is, you know, generally. It doesn't have to be on the dot, but you guys get the point. So maybe 1 hour 45 minutes, 1 hour 25 minutes. And during that period of time, I take risk. I flirt, I look her in the eyes, I do a little bit of escalation, I talk about fun, love, sex, romance, adventure. I'm risky with the topics, and I'm willing to, like, I'm not scared to offend or anything like that. I'm not playing it safe. This is something you have to practice, you know? I just told myself one day, hey, I'm not gonna play it safe no more. I'm just gonna go for whatever I want. If the chick likes it, she likes it. So for me, it was a mindset, and then I practiced it, and now it's a part of who I am, if you get what I'm saying. Now, here comes a key point, because many of these things you already know, right? Here comes a key point that I think is important. Now, once I've been there for around 1.5 hours, 1 hour 45 minutes, it's time for me to pull, because I want to be efficient. I got more dates this week, I got more opportunities, and I can create more opportunities as well, right? So I got to do my approaching, and I have to work, and I have to coach, and I have to work out, and I have to make videos, and I ain't got time like that, you know? Now, when I pull, here's what I do. Here's what I say to the chick. I say, let's get out of here, okay? Or I usually say, let's get the fuck out of here, let's get out of here. Doesn't matter how you deliver it, you just want to be decisive. Let's get out of here. Waiter, come here, boom, pay the bill, done. You're out. There's no half. If she's trying to stick her card somewhere in there, total refusal. You're not doing none of that shit. Then you leave. When you're exiting, okay, here's what I like to do. I like this move quite a bit. So you're leaving the bar, right? As soon as I get out, right? You get your jacket, whatever, you leave and you get out. I like to stick out my arm like this. Okay, as like I'm talking, if you get what I'm saying. So I might be, you know, continuing the conversations we had earlier or starting new conversations, but I'll stick out my arm like that, okay? And every single chick knows what that means. So that's another way of me taking charge. That's another way of me leading. So I'll stick out my arm like this. She put her arm in mine, and then we'll walk. Now, we are going to the next place. But the next place is my apartment. But I don't specify that immediately. Okay? So remember, I usually plan my dates like 4 blocks away maximum. Right? So I'm starting to walk towards my apartment. So I live in the city center. I could walk this way if I wanted to. Yeah? So imagine me just walking with the chick right here, walking towards my apartment. During the walk, it's important to keep the vibe up. And the way that I like to express that to you is just continue talking like you did during the date. Ask her questions, whatever, just bullshit. It doesn't matter what you say, just keep it talking. Don't have this like awkward silent walk. So you're walking towards your apartment and you're just about to arrive. There's 2 types of ways that I like to pull, okay? And I'm gonna give you all the secrets right now. So when I'm nearby my street, I have 2 options. Option number 1, here's how I pull. Option number 1 and option number 2. And it's really gonna depend on the vibe and the situation, and I'm gonna explain everything right now. So option number 1, when I come to the street, there's a supermarket nearby my apartment. So usually what I tell the chick is, hey, listen, let's go in the supermarket real quick. They have some cider, because actually it's true. They have some cider that's like from Sweden, from my country. So they have some cider from Sweden that I just want you to try. Come, let's get those drinks. I've never had any chick say no or question or why the fuck are we going in a supermarket, because I'm leading. I'm like, yo, let's do this. This is what we're gonna do. Like this is the plan, you know? I like to do that, and I like to pick up those ciders, okay? So the flavor I like is pear. So I like to pick up the flavor I like and the flavor she likes, pay again, leave. Remember, we're on my street. So then I start walking towards my apartment. I'll point. I have a rooftop, so I'll point like this. I'll be like, yo, let's go to my rooftop and enjoy the cider. It's a beautiful night. You know, we can watch the moon or some shit, you know? Again, very simple, very easy excuse. That's the first way I pull. If I feel like it's a little bit shaky, that's how I pull. If I feel like it's more on, like more on, here's how I pull. Same thing. I walk towards my street, and as I arrive on my street, I walk towards my apartment, and I just point at my rooftop and I say, hey, I got some more wine. Let's go open up a bottle, and that's what it is, you know? And that's if it's more on, right? So if it's not like that on, I'll stop at the supermarket just real quick to just grab something, okay? And that's it, and that's how I pull. Now, when we're back at the place, I'm giving you all the golden nuggets. Now when we're back at the place, oh, I forgot something, okay? Uncle Jay is gonna give you all the golden nuggets here. I forgot something, my friends. When you're putting in the key, right? So most people, they have we call it a puerta. It's a fucking door, you know, outside the apartment. You gotta put in the key, or, you know, use your passcode or whatever, and then you go in and you go to the elevator or you go to the stairs or whatever. It's very important that once you're doing that action of transitioning, hey, how are you? Come say hi. Where are you from? I'm a dating coach. I'm making a video about dates and stuff, but it's okay. I just wanted you to say hi real quick. She waved at me. You're cute.
Okay, thank you.
Can I guess where you're from?
Where do you think I'm from?
India.
What?
India.
Oh my god.
I got one chance and I got it right? Come back here. Come back here.
No way.
Tell them how good I am.
That was spot on, because anybody I speak to here, they have none of the right guess in the first go. So he's pretty good.
I am pretty good.
He is pretty good.
You have Instagram?
I have Instagram. But
Can you add me before you go?
But I wish you all the best. But if this goes viral and if I see you, I'll text you.
Okay, cool. Bye-bye. All right, cool. Here's the thing. Fuck, I got off track. Sorry, guys. That was not a part of the video. I got off track. Oh, yeah. So, you are putting in the key, putting in the passcode code, it's very important that you keep talking, keep making fun, keep making jokes. Don't have like some fucking awkward elevator ride or some awkward like walking up the stairs to your place. That's where you gotta bring up the energy and be even more enthusiastic and talk even more and ask even more questions, okay? Very key, very important. Now when you come back to your place and Uncle Jay is giving you all the golden nuggets, now when you come back to your place, very important, very important. I like to create what I call the vacuum, okay? This is a new concept. Pay close attention. I like to create what I call the vacuum. So most guys, what they do is when they come back to the place, wherever it is, like their apartment, hotel, hostel, whatever it is, they are immediately trying to escalate, immediately trying to create some type of thing or move it forward or push it forward. Now, I brought home so many fucking chicks, man, and I can tell you, this thing works like fucking gold, okay? I'm telling you that. I'm telling you that. This thing works like fucking gold, okay? So here's how you want to think about the vacuum. You don't want to think about it like you're escalating on a chick. You want to think about it like you're sucking her in. So I like to go to my apartment and open up a bottle of wine, or I like to, drink the cider as we talked about, or whatever it is, right? I even pulled some girls who were just drinking tea in my apartment. Doesn't matter. She's back at your place. I like to give the chick some space. So for example, I'm on my on my rooftop. I'm showing her different buildings. I'm pointing out different stuff. So we're standing side by side, but I'm not really escalating. I'm asking more questions. I keep the conversation going, eye contact, all that kind of stuff. And the point that I'm trying to create is I'm trying to lower her anxiety. So if I'm not doing anything physical, but I'm asking questions, I'm talking, I'm listening, I'm having eye contact, I'm being calm, I'm chilling, that lowers anxiety. So my only goal, the first 30 minutes in my apartment, is just to lower the anxiety. Another cool thing that I like to do when I come in is, so let's say I step in through the door. Again, Uncle Jay is giving you everything in this video. When I step in through the door, I give her a made-up story. So I've made this story up. It's not true at all, by the way, but I just thought about it and I made it up and I use it, okay? Very key, very important. So I step in through the door, I'm with the chick. We're going to the kitchen, open the wine bottle. I said, and I tell the girls, I tell them all the same thing, Do you want to hear a funny story from when I was 18? And obviously nobody's gonna say no. And I say, when I was 18, there was this girl that was 22 years old. She invited me, so she was older than me. And again, I made up this story. She invited me to her apartment. And I was there and I was super nervous. And I didn't feel comfortable in her apartment. So my first time going over and I barely knew her, and the girl's listening and I go and I tell her, but she told me one thing that made me feel super comfortable, She said, listen, this is now your house. If you need to go to the toilet, if you need to eat something, like my fridge is your fridge, mi casa is mi casa is tu casa, shit like that. So again, it's a made-up story, so I kind of change it up every time. I don't say the same thing verbatim, but you're in the flow. You got the girl back home. You know what I'm saying? And I realized that when I bring new people over to my apartment, they must feel like the way I felt when I was 18. And then the chicks, they always laugh, they always giggle, and it's like a kind of story that they can conceptualize. Oh, Jayden was 18, he was nervous going to a chick's house. Well, I'm 25 and I'm nervous being here. Okay, but he understands me, you know what I'm saying? So it's a fucking good story that I made up, which you can use. Now, let's go back to the vacuum thing. So for 30 to 40 minutes, I like to chill. I'm telling stories, I'm talking, I'm being dynamic, I'm looking the girl in the eye, and I'm not escalating. And what I notice happens, usually after 35 to 40 minutes, is that her anxiety has not only become lower and lower and lower and lower and lower. Some of the girls, they start to get a little bit bored. Like, hey, instead of being like, oh shit, fuck, I don't know if something's gonna happen, anxiously, to being like, okay, I'm calm, uncomfortable, but like, is anything really gonna happen? And that's the moment where you escalate. And so you gotta monitor, you gotta look, and you gotta be dynamic, and you gotta understand where she is, and you gotta know that the vacuum works. And the vacuum works in a suction effect, meaning you're talking to her, and again, by not escalating physically, you're lowering the anxiety, right? And so when you're there in that state of lowering anxiety, she will cross over to boredom, right? So she will cross over to boredom, right? And when she crosses over to boredom, like it's usually around 35-40 minutes, that's when I escalate. And I always escalate the same way. I don't like to be sitting down. I like to be standing on a balcony or a rooftop or something like that. I don't know. I never liked sitting down with some random person in my house. This is a sitting thing is killing me. So even if I just have a window, I like to stand at the window, drink wine and chill. And she got to stand next to me. You know what I'm saying? So that's me. I've always been that way since I was young. This whole sitting down in a couch, in a deep couch, and then you gotta move in. I never liked that. So I like standing up. So either rooftop, balcony, window, whatever. I want to be looking at something and standing side by side. So that's my recommendation to you guys. From there, I always escalate the same way. So we're standing side by side, and I just take her elbow and I pull her in slightly. I've already had eye contact. I already faced her multiple times throughout the date or whatever. So me standing face to face with her is nothing special. It's not something new. So I just pull in the girl and I go in for the kiss. And they always give Uncle Jay some makeout. You know what I'm saying? From there, here's what's gonna happen. I'm gonna tell you.
I love BJ.
Bro, today people be shouting shit. They be trying to join the video. I don't know what today when it's sunny in Barcelona, people really be excited. So let me not get sidetracked, okay? When you're making out, okay, for me, what I like to do is I like to go for it. So I'm making out with a chick, I'll be grabbing her ass, I'll be, moving my hands around. And that's usually where you will know the chick's intention. So you're making out with her, you're grabbing her, maybe you're kissing her neck, whatever. If she's down to bang, she's not gonna stop you. She's just gonna enjoy and grab you back and be a part of the process. If she's like hesitating or whatever, she's gonna remove your hands or something like that, then I like to tell the girl, what's wrong, baby? What's wrong? And then each chick will say something different, give you some sort of objection. She might say, I'm on my period or some shit like that. Then you just counter the objection. Oh, period? Don't worry, I love hooking up on periods. Like for me, for some guys it grosses them out, but for me not. And for example, with that objection, and the girls go, really? I'm like, yeah. And then I start making out again, and boom, they're down. That's what it is. Long story short, at that point, you're gonna have some chicks that are down, some chicks that are not down. Here's both scenarios. I wanna give you both scenarios. First scenario is you hook up with the chick. A lot of guys ask me, what do you text after? How do you create something after? If I hooked up with the chick on the first date, I always text them the next day. And again, it's not a stock message that I set, okay? But I kind of switch it up every time. But the main point I want to get across is, I want to say, I really enjoyed yesterday. We should do it again sometime, wink. Because I've noticed a lot of girls, if you smash them and you don't text anything, they will go back into the state of anxiety. And then when you hit them back up 4 days later, 5 days later, a week later, or even worse, you run into them on the street and you haven't said shit, it's just not a good look. And it's not a good look for the purpose of meeting again. So if I hooked up, I always text her the next day. And I text her in a way where she doesn't have to respond. It's not a question, it's a statement. We should do it again sometime. Statement, wink. Thank you for yesterday, thanking her, whatever. I like to do that, and I notice it gives me a lot of repeat hookups. If she didn't hook up, here's how I like to conclude. So let's say she's got to go to work, or it's early morning, blah, 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 whatever it is, right? Whatever it is, right? Then I'm like, all right, cool. Don't worry about it, baby. listen, if I wanted to hang out with you again, what's a good time to text you? Like, when are you free? So I try to figure out her schedule. Like, what's your schedule like? What are you doing this week, this weekend? And I like to figure out her future logistics before she leaves. This way I know, for example, if I'm going on a date like on a Wednesday and she leaves my apartment on Wednesday night, that way I know, oh, she's like, oh, on Sunday I'll be free. And then I like to hit her up like a day before. You get what I'm saying? So I figure out the availability. Instead of me texting a random day or like trying to figure out like her schedule like in a random moment, I can already know those information before we say goodbye. You know what I'm saying? And so that's the way I operate, you know? I'm always in advance. I used to work in sales. We always do everything in advance. The more things you do in advance, the greater your chances of success, right? And so if the chick tells me, it doesn't matter if she's on a fucking Thursday telling me she's free on a Sunday, then I always text her a day before, right? So I'm like, all right, I'll hit you up around Sunday. Bye. She leaves. Then on Saturday, I'll say hi. Hello. How are you? This little kid saying hello. Bro, I think I gotta move from this spot. Like, people be really talking to me here. And it's kind of sidetracking my video. But maybe you guys like that. Maybe you guys like it. Maybe you guys like to see me dynamic. I used to make videos and talk to people in my videos. But I don't do that anymore. Like, now I really want to get the information across. You know what I'm saying? But let me know in the comment section what you guys think. You know what I'm saying? So that's the whole, like, Uncle Jay's game plan. That's it. That's it. That's the whole thing. That's the whole thing there. Especially in the end, I really try to figure out the chick's availability before she leaves. And then based on what she says, I'll text her a day before, you know? So if she says in 4 days I'm free, I'll text her in 3 days. If she says in 7 days I'm free, I'll text her in 6 days. Okay? Because I've already told her I'll hit you up around then. So I don't need to be like doing all this bullshit messaging in between dates, you know? Because I'm already figuring out when she's free, and then I'm waiting until the moment around there, and then I'm not like this dude who's like hitting her up randomly throughout the week. You know what I'm saying? For no reason. And so there's even more mystery involved. I also like to do that when I start a conversation. If I talk to a chick now and we get in a long conversation, I'll be like, let's have drinks sometime. And she goes, yeah, sure. And I said, so when are you free? You know, what days are you available this week? You know, and she might be like, oh, tomorrow, whatever. All right, cool. I hit you up tomorrow. Boom, done. And so once I get the availability, I kind of know when to hit her up, and then I do that. And that's what it is. Very, very simple. Now, I've given you the golden nuggets. All you got to do is take action. It would make me mad and sad if you didn't do anything. You got to take this advice and do something with it, okay? That's all I had to say in this video. If you like this video, like the goddamn video, comment down below, subscribe, and I see y'all, my brothers, in that next video. Peace.